Hey, everybody. I know we just got done from being on tour. As soon as I got off tour, I was checking my phone. I saw lovely TTV. Shout out to lovely TTV. She gave an update on the suspect. So I want to give you guys an update on the suspect as well. This just broke about an hour ago. So let me bring that up for you all. I'm going to be on here a long time, but just wanted to bring this news to y'all because we did talk about it this morning. Suspect in New Orleans attack identified as a 42-year-old man. Investigators have identified Shamsuddin Jabbar, 42, as the suspect who intentionally rammed his vehicle into New Orleans revelers early on New Year's Day. 4 senior law enforcement officials briefed on the matter told NBC News. Dinjbar is accused of plowing a pickup truck into crowds around 3:15 a.m. Hang on, y'all. Let me turn down the music just a little bit. Hang on. Okay. Right here, Dinjbar is accused of plowing a pickup truck into crowds around 3:15 a.m. on Bourbon Street, illing at least 10 people and injuring 35 more. He died during a pow-out with police, officials said. Witnesses described a terrifying, bloody scene as people attempted to jump out the way or take cover in nearby bars. We heard the truck barrel by as more people piled in, said New Orleans resident Jimmy Contron, who watched the carnage unfold from a nightclub balcony. According to preliminary information, Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas, had a black flag asphyxiated to the hitch of his pickup truck, and he allegedly drove into the crowd. Officials are investigating whether that flag is related to the terrorist group ISIS. 2 senior law enforcement officials said the incident is being investigated as both a terrorist attack and a crime scene. Federal and local officials said, "We are leading in. We will be relentless. We will do everything that it takes to render real justice." New Orleans Mayor Latoya Cantrell said during a news conference, officials are looking at least 2 improvised explosive devices, or IEDs, that may have been planted near the incident area to see if those were actually explosive devices, if they were operable. The FBI, which is leading the investigation, said weapons and potential IED were located in the suspect's car. And in the French court, a woman who identified herself as Jabbar's sister-in-law, as to not be named, and said relatives in Texas were in shock when they heard the news. It makes no sense. She said he's the nicest person I've ever known. I really don't know what happened. She added he was a good man. He takes care of his children and everything. She said some family members were heading from Texas to New Orleans. Federal officials and local law enforcement in New Orleans are investigating if Dinjbar used a long power rifle and fired into the crowds he ran. People over. 3 senior law enforcement officials briefed on the investigation told NBC News. Please join me in praying for the victims and their families, as well as our first responders in the wake of this horrific act of violence on Bourbon Street, said Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Republican Louisiana, in a post on Twitter. So here is the video from NBC News.
Let's go ahead and bring in NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delaney. And Ken, we just learned the name of the suspect. That has been the question on everyone's mind since this news broke this morning. What do we know?
That's right, Morgan and Kate. 4 senior law enforcement officials briefed on this matter say they have preliminarily identified this suspect as Shamsuddin Jabbar, with a birth date of October 26, 1982. Again, Shamsuddin Jabbar. Now, they are still trying to determine information about his movements, his travel, his background, all that sort of thing. We obviously are scouring public records to learn as much as we can about this individual with a rather uncommon name. But that is the name, and clearly they are investigating whether this attack was inspired by ISIS, as we've been reporting. They're investigating whether a pole with a black flag affixed to the back of the truck was in fact an ISIS flag. These are all questions that are up in the air right now, but that is the identity of the suspect as we have learned it. This is reporting with Tom Winter, Julia Ainsley, and myself, guys.
And just a short time ago, we were playing back, Ken, the video of President Biden speaking, and he was asked a number of questions by reporters
a number of times about the suspect and whether the suspect was from the U.S. or perhaps
from somewhere else. Do we have any clarity on that yet?
We do not have clarity on whether this is a U.S. citizen or where he was from. They're investigating whether he was not the owner of the truck. In fact, whether he got the truck from somewhere else. The truck had Texas plates. So all that is up in the air. We're trying to learn that. In fact, I've been standing here waiting to go on the air, so our colleagues may know more than I do at this point. We'll wait to see if they put notes in the system. But that is an open and active question right now. You can expect that President Biden may not have been briefed on. This is changing by the minute, and we're getting information from our law enforcement sources. It takes time sometimes to work its way up the chain to the most senior people, but that's what we know at this moment.
You know, I want to go back to the beginning, if we can, because, you know, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, he said that his department was working with local law enforcement very early on to investigate this as a terrorist attack. What details did they have at the time? What clues did we see in the footage, in the UGC, the content that people sent in from eyewitnesses? What clues indicated that this was intentional and not a DUI, as some were wondering from the very beginning?
Well, the fact that he shot police officers and may have shot at the crowd with a rifle was their first clue, guys. And also just the nature of the attack, that horrific interview that you just heard about how he was able to get up to speed of 60 or 70 miles an hour. So they knew right away, and it was clear from the initial briefing this morning that the FBI was taking over this investigation, was taking the lead, and was investigating it as a potential act of terrorism. And then they had to fill in the blanks from there. And, you know, in addition to the facts on the ground, there's also a long history of these kind of vehicle attacks, many of which were inspired by ISIS, both in Europe, and then there was one in 2017 in New York City, inspired by ISIS. That doesn't mean ISIS terrorists were directing this from some bunker in the Middle East. Well, what we've seen time and again is people radicalized inside the United States, mainly online, carrying out attacks inspired by this ideology. They may never communicate with anyone about it, which is what makes it really difficult for authorities to ferret out. When people conspire, they communicate, and that can be learned, that can be picked up through eavesdropping, through informants, or other methods. But if it's a lone wolf who just decides to do this one day on his own, that's a really, really difficult thing to stop. It's kind of the worst nightmare of counterterrorism authorities, guys.
And Ken, we've talked about this, but if people are just joining us, they may not know. We've talked about the pickup truck itself. There's an image that we've got, if we can put it on the screen, of that white pickup truck that the authorities say the suspect was driving. And on the back, in the lower left corner, you see a white pole on the back of the pickup truck and what looks like a flag or a piece of fabric of some kind. Ken, I know you've talked about it with your sources. Do you have any guidance on what that might be?
What they're telling us is they are actively investigating whether that is an ISIS flag. And that's what we've heard for the last few hours. They may know more. They likely do know more at this point about exactly what message, if any, was on that flag. But that was the working hypothesis. That was the investigative intent, was to learn whether that was an ISIS flag. And I haven't heard any other possible explanation for that. It's kind of a thing you don't see very often on a pickup truck. And it certainly would track with what we've seen in other events. But if true, that's just another troubling indicator here, pointing in a direction, guys. But we're not ready to say, obviously, no one is telling us specifically this was an ISIS-inspired attack, but we're getting signs that are pointing in that direction.
Do we have any more updated information on those potential homemade bombs? We know that we were listening to our local affiliate, WDSU, there on the ground, and they were saying that, you know, they were, as a precaution now, canvassing, for example, the Superdome, canvassing downtown, bringing in extra dogs. Do we know if they had located more devices or exactly where that stands?
We don't know the answer to that question. That's a great question, Morgan. As you said, we saw the local affiliate reporting on what appeared to be controlled detonations of suspicious packages found in the French Quarter. And the reporter said that the explosions sounded like firecrackers. That suggests to me those were not bombs, because if they were bombs, there would have been a much larger explosion and a much louder sound. But it suggests that the police are being extremely cautious and treating every stray backpack with suspicion, because they're not sure exactly what they have here. We heard the assistant FBI agent in charge of the New Orleans division say this morning that there were potential IEDs, potential bombs at the scene, but authorities have not said any more about whether they were real, how many, where they were found. Those are all questions we're trying to answer.
Ken, sorry, we were listening to our producers for a moment and I didn't hear you stop talking. I want to ask you about the gentleman who was on with Hallie Jackson, which we played a few moments ago, eyewitness to everything, said that he didn't see barriers. And he described those orange and white barricades that we've seen in some of the pictures and the video as the only thing that was up to stop traffic. It's not in that particular shot, but there were orange and white, I don't know what to call them, sort of
barriers that were broken.
Barriers that were broken. You see them in that picture there. Do we have any clarity, Ken? Because the New York Times is reporting that the city may have been upgrading they're called bollards or stanchions, the metal posts that emerge from the ground. You've seen them maybe if you've ever been to Washington, D.C., they have them around the Capitol building. They're designed to stop vehicles.
Yes.
Do we know if that's the case, that they were working on upgrading those and that's why they didn't have those up at the time?
I have not seen that NBC News has that reporting, guys, but I heard that interview and it really struck me. That guy is a New Orleans resident and he said, we have those hydraulic barriers that come up from the street. I've heard other experts on our air today say, well, that's the solution in these cases. It prevents cars or vehicles from picking up speed to prevent this very kind of attack. If in fact those were under maintenance, they existed, but they weren't deployed, that's going to be a significant concern and a source of introspection and discussion going forward, because it really is unimaginable that the authorities allowed a mass gathering knowing that this basic precaution that they had available to them was not deployed, if that's in fact what happened. And that's what this man told Hallie Jackson. You heard him there. He said, I've seen those barriers come up. They come up from the ground. They're hydraulic balustrades, and they were not deployed at 8 p.m. when he was there on the ground, and they were not deployed at 3 a.m. when he was looking out the window. So yeah, that's something we need to do some more work on and learn whether that is in fact the case. But whether they were under maintenance or just not deployed, that's a significant question about how this was allowed to happen.
Yeah. Well, Ken, I can tell you that the New York Times links, it's not our reporting, but they do link to a city website, City of New Orleans website that shows a notice that they are replacing and repairing that system until February, it says on their website. So we'll get more reporting on that. Ken Dilanian, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Kate Snow. Thank you, Morgan Raffer. Thank you to that good sir there. Wanted to come on to bring you guys this as soon as possible. So here is the suspect right here. Samad Jabbar. And he's a piece of shit bastard. What do you want me to say? To do that to people who are trying to celebrate, New Year's Day. It's not right. It's not cool at all. So yeah. So yes, indeed here. So that's the person there. Right here, at least 15 people were killed. It was at 10 when we came on tour just about an hour ago or so. But now it's at 15 people. This comes to us from ABC News. He is a 42-year-old U.S.-born citizen, United States Army veteran from Texas, according to the FBI. So that is Samad Jabbar. And at least 50 people were unalived and over 24 injured after a man drove a Ford pickup truck through a crowd on Bourbon Street at a high rate speed early Wednesday. Multiple law enforcement sources and Louisiana Representative Troy Carr told ABC News authorities are working to determine whether the deceased suspect had any affiliation with terrorist organizations after the ISIS flag was found to the truck's trailer hitch. Now, NBC News said that the FBI is still working to see if that was the flag, but ABC News is saying that is the flag. After bearing a crowd over a 3-block stretch, the suspect allegedly got out of the truck wielding an assault rifle and opened fire on police officers. Law enforcement officials briefed on the incident, told ABC News. Officers returned fire, ailing the suspect. At least 2 officers were pounded, authorities said. This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could. New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick said at a press briefing on Wednesday afternoon, it was not a DUI situation. This is more complex, more serious. And so that is the update there. And there is there's the deceased suspect there. It looks like that is an F-150 truck. The suspect is believed to have been discharged honorably from the Army, though investigators are still looking into his military record. Carr told ABC News that the suspect appears to have lived or spent some time in the New Orleans area. My understanding is there may have been some identification that indicated that the suspect had local residence. That information is being tested. He said the vehicle had a Texas license plate. So I was about to say, was it Enterprise? Was it Avis? Was it Budget? I'm trying to think what else. Avis, Budget, and I can't remember the other one. What is it? Avis, Budget. So Avis, Budget, and Zipcar and Payless Car Rental. So don't know which car sharing company it could have been, but that is the latest there. The truck used in the attack appeared to be an F-150 Lightning electric vehicle. It appears the truck was rented through the Turo app. That is a Uber app. That's a little bit more of an upgrade in terms of inventory. A car share company, Turo app, a car share company, according to Rago Diaz, owner of the truck. Diaz told ABC News he rented the truck to an individual through the app and is currently talking to the FBI. He declined for comment. Diaz's wife, Nora Diaz, told ABC News that she and her husband are devastated by the incident. My husband rents cars through the Turo app. I can't tell you anything else. I'm here with my kids. This is devastating, Nora Diaz said. ABC News has reached out to Turo. So that is the latest on that's the latest on the attack that happened in New Orleans, Louisiana. So oh, wait a minute, here's some breaking news, y'all. Hang on. So the Sugar Bowl, hang on, let me see that. Sugar Bowl.
I know you've spoken to the teams. How are they reacting to this?
Yeah, Diane, certainly they are sending out as much love, thoughts, prayers to everyone who is dealing with this tragedy here. And that's been the key message that they've sent me. But
so Sugar Bowl
right now, both Notre Dame and Georgia remain in their team hotels. They're not allowing for any of the players, any staff to leave the hotels. They felt that was very important for everybody's safety. Georgia has now opened the hotel up to where people could come in because they feel as though the area is secure over there, but still not allowing the players to go. And Notre Dame is currently having a staff meeting as we speak. That's going on. So we'll get more information from them after this staff meeting happens. And of course, we'll share that with you. Now, as it comes to when this game could potentially be played, I just spoke to some sources who say it actually could happen sooner than 24 hours. They, of course, the government officials gave us that 24-hour time frame, but there is a chance it could happen earlier. And there are people saying that the teams could be pushing for that as well. So we'll keep an eye on that, certainly, as we continue to gather more information here. And again, both of these teams trying to just stay there, hunker down, focus on whatever they can. Some players are saying that they're studying, they're trying to do as much as they can to, focus on what's happening. There are games being played right now, the Peach Bowl going on, so some are watching those games as they look to gather more information. And we'll continue to keep you posted here from inside the Superdome, which is where we are. This area was closed off as well, as we told you earlier, but now has been opened up as once again, they did bring in law enforcement here. There are so many around this area, but they brought them in as you're looking at the outside of the stadium to bring the dogs, check for explosives. They had already swept this area with those dogs and with law enforcement 2 days ago. It was deemed safe, so then they lock it off and open it back up again when people are supposed to enter. They did that again this morning, an extensive search in this area. So I'm told that law enforcement in and around this Superdome feel very confident with the safety of the stadium, but certainly.
So, hey, everybody, welcome in. Glad to have you here. So, Yana, good to see you. Glad to have you here, gorgeous. Tell me you're into things without telling me you're into things. Anyway, that's an inside joke between me and Yana. Colton James Hodge, welcome in. Nikki News and Narcissism, welcome in. Missy, welcome in. So, basically, the suspect has been identified. That is Laura Rutledge. She is with ESPN. There was supposed to be the Sugar Bowl being played today, the All-State Sugar Bowl between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Oregon Ducks. That was supposed to be played today, but as you can see there, that's been postponed until tomorrow. It's been postponed until tomorrow. It's been postponed until tomorrow. Laura Rutledge is live inside the Caesars Superdome. So the suspect has been identified as Shameed Din-Jabbar. He was a 42-year-old U.S. citizen that served in the Army. Lord. And right here, 15 people. The death toll has risen to 15 people. He said another 25. Troy Carter, a representative of Democrat of Louisiana, told ABC News Wednesday afternoon that the number of people unalived in the incident has risen from 10 to 15. He said another 25 people were hospitalized with injuries. Improvised explosive devices, IEDs, found in and around the scene on Bourbon Street were apparently found to be viable, and investigators were looking for more in the city's French Quarter. Multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News the FBI said 2 devices were found and rendered safe. The FBI does not believe Jabbar was solely responsible for the incident, which is being investigated as an act of terror. After Shameed Din-Jabbar, who used a F-150, Ford F-150 Lightning, which is an electric truck, to plow through these people. He got out with a long barrel rifle and opened fire on the police officers. He did pass away. So that is the latest on that. So yeah.
Security will be amped up for that Super Bowl, which comes your way in February.
Yeah, officials are trying to make it clear that public safety is a top priority. Laura, I know the game will be on ESPN at whatever time they decide to do it, so we will wait to see exactly when tomorrow the Sugar Bowl is set to happen now, but I know you'll be there keeping track of it for us. Laura, thank you. That's Laura Rutledge from ESPN. So let's go back to the investigation now. Again, law enforcement have identified the suspect in this New Orleans attack. They're now looking to see whether or not he had any support here, but the FBI is saying they do not believe he was working alone. I want to bring back our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, for more on that. So, Aaron, where are they taking this investigation?
So that is the latest on that as of right now. Literally, this has happened so many times in 2024 when we literally just got off of being on tour and breaking news happens. That's what we do over here. Like I said, the Sugar Bowl has been postponed from Wednesday night to Thursday night. New Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams told ABC News the game was set to kick off Wednesday night in New Orleans, where police remain focused on securing the French Quarter after the vehicle ramming attack. So the Superdome is safe. Police, went all through the Superdome. The dogs were there as well. Of course, the Super Bowl will be happening in February as well. So this is, how can I put this in the biggest way possible? Although this should not have happened at all, and those people should still be here, and the people who are injured should not be injured. This hopefully will get New Orleans together, because if this was just New Year's Day and New Year's Eve, can you imagine the Super Bowl when everybody is coming from all around the world to New Orleans? So yes, indeed. So that is the latest there and location of the truck there. Yeah, like I said, he appeared to be using F-150 Lightning electric vehicle. And so you got from here to here was the location of the truck ramming attack. And so New Orleans Police Department said the attack occurred despite the force being staffed 100% for New Year's Eve and the Sugar Bowl college football game played annually on New Year's Day. Additional 300 officers were on duty for partner agencies, the police department said. Some events and parties around the game were canceled, which absolutely makes sense, of course. 47 said, his heart is with all the innocent victims and their loved ones, which is complete bullshit. He's the personification of evil himself. President Joe Biden said, I will continue to receive updates throughout the day. I will have more to say as we have further information to share, Biden said. In the meantime, my heart goes out to the family, to the victims and their families who are simply just trying to celebrate the holiday. There's no justification for violence of any kind. We will not tolerate any attack on any of our nation's communities. So that is Canal Street there. As you see it in a picture is worth 1,000 words. And like I said, the truck was rented through the Turo app there. So I will show you the Turo platform there, just so you guys know what it looks like. I've seen ads for it before. And also, too, this was not Turo's fault. I don't want any conspiracy theories to say Turo had a part. No, they did not. They did not. They absolutely did not. Images. So this is Turo here. So it's a peer-to-peer car rental. So this is Turo here. So basically you go in and you can rent somebody's car for a certain time, pick up and return. And it gives you, it's almost like Yelp. You know what I mean? You can leave reviews and everything else, but this is Turo. And so they have the different cars that you can rent per day, almost like Zipcar. So yeah, that is the latest. That's what we do around here. Hey, love 173, glad to have you here. Is no problem. That's what we do around here. Literally, just got off tour about an hour ago. Was watching Lovely T and said, okay, time to go back on tour, at least for a brief minute. And speaking of Lovely T, let me show y'all here. Because she showcased this video from Twitter. So let me show y'all this here. By the way, shout out to Lovely T.
Out there, it's really sad. It really is.
At Core Realty, I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years.
Okay, so right now on Twitter, a man named Din Jabbar, he's trending all over Twitter. They're saying that he's the ISIS person who plowed over all of the people in New Orleans. It looks to be a person of color. They're saying that he was born and raised in Texas, not an illegal immigrant, and that he was in the U.S. military. So I don't know if this is the man. This is just what's being posted all up and down my timeline on Twitter. So I'm not sure. This is just what's being alleged on social media. So this is who they're saying. You see, he's trending. They're saying here, only Shamad Din Jabbar I found is this guy, Houston, Texas, works for Deloitte, bachelor's degree from Georgia State. So that is his picture.
So that's his picture right there. Worked at Deloitte and in real estate. So he is a black man, y'all. And y'all know how I feel, right? Regardless if a white man does this, if a black man does this, if a white woman does this, if a black man does this, it is fucking unnecessary. It is shameful. It is disgraceful. So yeah, that black man's a piece of shit. Okay, I'm equal opportunity. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So
that's his picture. This is the video that's going all up and down social media. A lot of people are posting this video.
Sadeem Jabbar, property manager with Blue Meadow Properties and team lead at the Midas Group at Core Realty. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life.
So a lot of people are posting this, and he has gray in his beard, like the dead body. New Orleans terrorist exposed as 42-year-old Shamsu Din Jabbar, born and raised in Texas. There's a lot more meets the eye. Terror cell out of Texas. Again, I don't know if this is the man. This is just what Twitter is saying. But at the end of the day, we need to let the FBI and the police do their job. So I just wanted to put this video together for you all. Let's go ahead and get the discussion popping down below. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys are safe. I hope your friends and family are safe. You guys know I love me some New Orleans. So shout out to all my New Orleans.
So let me go back right here. So that is him there. That is Shamsu Din Jabbar. So that is him, the suspect. 42 years old, born and raised in Texas, worked in the military for HR. So that is the suspect there. And, trigger warning for everybody, but they did get the suspect. They did get the suspect here. Hang on. Sorry. Oh, that's not the one I want y'all to see. Okay, here it is. So they did get the suspect. Now, that is the suspect. Of course, they blurred it out. And that is the Ford F. So you can tell it's the. It's not allowing me to. It's not even allowing me to zoom in. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. Okay, so I don't know if y'all can tell, but that says Lightning right there. So they do have a Ford F-150 truck. That is an electric truck. So I just wanted you guys to know that. So they did take down the suspect because the suspect howled police officers, and there it is there. So that is the latest in this very fast moving New Year's Day. You know how I always say higher is waiting, low is available, but either way, we're about to go on tour. That includes the first day of the year. I try my very best in these moments of time, space, and energy to be a steward over you guys, over myself, and over how we are taking this in as a society. Of course, I'm not a Robin Roberts or George Stephanopoulos or Michael Strahan or Toyin DeCopel or Gayle King or Nate Burleson, or Savannah Guthrie or Holden Cappy or Craig Melvin. But also too, I don't have to be as well. Every message needs a different messenger. For every person that's went through a drug addiction, you need somebody who can give you a message about overcoming drug addiction. For every person that has, lost everything, you need somebody who knows how to gain it all back. So I look at myself as one of the messengers of the culture, and I just try to do my best to give you love, grace, and space through telling you anything in our culture. This is not New Year's Day that anybody wanted to wake up to, nor did anybody predict that this could have happened. This is reminding me of when, remember we talked about the Marvel stunt woman and how there was a Mercedes-Benz. Literally, same circumstances. New Year's Day. Actually, no, I think it was New Year's Eve. Either way, it still happened for that time frame. A Mercedes-Benz vehicle going through the middle of Times Square, and this Marvel stunt woman, bloody gums, face all out of whack, teeth, pulled up front. Like, it I'm just like, really? We had that happen to a black woman in 2024. We had that happen in New York. And then you mean tell me on New Year's Day, the same circumstances happened in New Orleans, Louisiana? Yeah, I know, Nikki, I know. So I'm going to stay here for 5 more minutes and just lock this up at a 40-minute video. I didn't mean to stay on long, but I just want to bring this to y'all because y'all know how we are as a channel. We are the legendary tourists, in the words legendary Alpha MC, virtual travelers, and virtual tour family. BBC has called this her virtual tour fam. Nikki Newton, our system, called these people her tour sisters. For what needs to be talked about in the culture. There are times where we will get off of being on tour and we will have some breaking news and go right back on tour. We follow the destination as the destination is developing, and I had to bring this to y'all. There was no way I could not that the day is over, the day is still young, but there was no way that I could have done that destination this morning and not bring you the update as we have it. For those of you who are wondering what's going on here, let me see. What's going on here? There is this.
What the incident was or was not, but the indicators are there of a vehicle pulling up, smoke begins to come out of it, and then an explosion. The person inside the vehicle was killed. They don't know if it was a male or a female yet, but a lot they still have to figure out.
And Josh Margolin, who's also following the story for us. Josh, they also say they are looking at this as a possible act of terror. What does that tell you?
It says, like Alex said, that the sheriff says they don't know what they don't know. They know this, whatever happened was intentional. The truck didn't just explode because of some sort of malfunction or something on the street. The driver took the Cybertruck up into the valet port in front of the hotel, and they started seeing some smoke, and then it exploded. Apparently, this is according to law enforcement sources that we're talking to, there were some fireworks-style mortars in the truck. Now, the question is, were they set off intentionally at the hotel? Were they set off or were they lit so that they would go off somewhere else? That really is the key thing, and they're working to find out who the driver was, what the motive might be, because that's obviously the key. But this was not an accident in their mind, and that's why they're saying possible criminal act, possible act of terror.
So for those of you who are wondering what's going on, this also happened in Vegas. From Fox 5 here, one person is dead and 7 others are injured after a car exploded near the 47 International Hotel Wednesday morning. According to police, the explosion occurred in the valet area of the hotel around 8:40 a.m. this morning. Police activity has shut down Fashion Show Drive between Las Vegas Boulevard and Sammy Davis Jr. Drive. Viewer video obtained by Fox 5 suggests that fireworks may have been inside the car at the time of the explosion. It remains unclear if additional explosive devices were present. So here it is here.
It's not having access to 1 million industrial-grade products that's so amazing. It's the feeling of knowing you'll find the one you need.
And so there is 47 International. And that is a Tesla Cybertruck, ladies and gentlemen. The great Elon Musk at it once again. As you guys may or may not know, his gas pedals don't work because there has been gas pedals that have floored and people could not stop it for the life of them. The hood has popped up and they could not see as they were driving down the way. Yeah, as you can see there. Updates not happening on Teslas. There was a Tesla robot that attacked people, attacked employees rather. So now you got a Tesla Cybertruck. You know, the messages of heaven and earth, or heaven and hell rather, are on earth. You just have to be paying attention. So, and there's the police department. Shout out to the Las Vegas Fire Department for making it do what it do. Clearing out that fire from the Cybertruck there. So that is viewer video from Alcide Antunes. Thank you for that video there. The fire has since been put out by Clark County firefighters during a press conference. Las Vegas Metro Police Department Sheriff Kevin McHale shared that the sole victim was inside the vehicle during the explosion. Guests staying at the property and surrounding hotels had told Fox 5 they could hear a large explosion that was notably louder than last night's fireworks. Fox 5 also received a viewer video showing massive plumes of smoke coming from the entrance of the hotel. Guests staying at the hotel were not allowed to the lobby while the fire was active, but have since been moved outside. Governor Joe Lombardo stated that he is working to provide local law enforcement with any resources needed in his response. Earlier today, a reported electric vehicle fire occurred in the Port Atru of 47 Las Vegas. The safety and well-being of our guests and staff remain top priority. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Las Vegas Fire Department and local law enforcement for their we send our heartfelt gratitude to the Las Vegas Fire Department and local law enforcement for their swift response and professionalism. 47 Vegas. So, yeah, a lot going on this New Year's Day. The public is advised to avoid the area while investigation is underway. So we have a potential terrorist attack in Las Vegas with a Tesla Cybertruck and a burning lobby inside a hotel in Vegas, like I said. And then we have a terrorist attack in New Orleans, Louisiana, on Bourbon Street. So a lot going on in the world today on New Year's Day, the first day of 2025. One day down, 364 days to go. Like I said, I don't like, doing this. But the news is the news, and that's what we do. That is what we do. That's what we do. And by the way, from The Verge here, fire crews were on the scene within 4 minutes. The fire was put out within 1 hour there. So 8:40 a.m. PT, which let's see, 8:40 a.m. PT, which would be 11:40 a.m. East Coast time. So 40 minutes into being live on tour, this happened on the West Coast. Okay, so here's some video here. A video shared on Twitter shows the truck engulfed in flames just outside the hotel's lobby. The person who captured it said the Cybertruck blew up. Several additional key witnesses report hearing at least one explosion. We've embedded more of their videos further down in this story. So here it is here. Well, there it is. It did explode. Ain't it interesting how the fire is burning behind the T logo? Ain't that something? Symbolism does mean a lot.
Battery blew, I think.
So it says here, those are our luggage by the door, and that's when it happened. It's still not clear what caused the fire right now. We just don't have a lot of answers. Says FBI Special Agent Jeremy Suarez, the acting agent in charge. Authorities didn't have any details about the dead person inside the Cybertruck. We don't even know if they were the driver. We're investigating a number of leads. I'm not prepared to release any of that information to you just yet. The news of the fire comes amid numerous reports about Tesla CEO Elon Musk getting closer to President-elect 47. Musk spent New Year's Eve at Mar-a-Lago, reportedly sat in during 47's dinner with Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Musk has also been staying at a cottage on 47's Florida property since around Election Day, according to a report from the New York Times. So still, while authorities say they want Las Vegas residents to stay away from the area, Sheriff McCall suggests that the Vegas incident is probably over. We believe everything is safe now. We have yet to find a veil the vehicle catch on fire, but several others on Twitter said that they witnessed an explosion and captured videos of the rising smoke. Stefan Fernando claimed the window shook violently on the 53rd floor of the building. Max Rifle claimed there were multiple explosions. So,
holy shit, a fucking massive explosion just happened here at the Trump Tower. I'm literally right below. I'm at the 53rd floor. Something major just exploded here at the Las Vegas Trump International. Something just went off in the valet section where the cars are. I don't know what just did, but something just blew, and the windows here shimmied and shaked. I don't know what's going on, but crazy.
Then here it is here. A better overview for you all. Now, this was not the Delano Hotel that's been converted into the W Hotel. That was not that. This was 47's hotel in Vegas. So just want you guys to know that, because we did talk about that. Yes, we did. We did talk about that. So as you can see here, more of the smoke there. I mean, it is thick and not the good thick. For sure there. So yeah, it is very active there. So this was the press release here to launch W Las Vegas. So they are transforming it from the Delano Hotel to the W Hotel. So just want you guys to know, it was not this hotel. I think there's a series of these hotels, like 3 of them in a particular vicinity, but no, it was the 47 hotel there. So it started off like colorful fireworks. I and my husband were just literally standing where the luggage is in the footage. I just saw it pulled up and lowered itself like a bus. It boom, there it goes. At first looked like fireworks or something, but then I immediately feared our life, thinking it could be a bomb, and ran. 47 and Elon Musk have yet to make public statements on the incident. How quaint. I'm really surprised, but no. So, yeah, so that's that, y'all. Like I said, one love, much love, all of them. I'll wrap it up here at 50 minutes, and then I will head out. So, and here is the statement here. And what I just read about, it looked like it started off like colorful fireworks, and they stood where the luggage is in the footage, and it looked like fireworks or something, but then immediately feared for our life, thinking it could be a bomb. And then 47 Elon Musk have yet to make public statements on the incident. Well, Elon, I will just say, bruh, that is your Cybertruck. Yeah, Tesla's really doing a great job out here, guys. Really, truly. I would get one myself. should get one too. Not. Oh my Lord. Yes, indeed. So. All right, you all. That is it there. One love, much love, all of. I will see all of you very, very soon tonight at 6 o'clock. This was some breaking news, and I will update the thumbnail on update on New Orleans and 47's hotel in Vegas. So yes, indeed. All right. One love, much love, all. One love, much love, all of. Bye, everybody.